What if I told you that rich people aren't smarter, luckier, or harder working than you? They just think about money in ways most people never will. And if you don't adopt these 7 mindsets soon, you'll keep working harder while getting nowhere. Let's start with the first. Mindset 1, value over time. Wealth doesn't follow your hours, it follows your impact. The first mindset to adopt is this: money flows to those who master valuable skills. You're not paid for your time, you're paid for the transformation your time creates. This means your income potential isn't capped by your hours in a day. It's only limited by the value you can deliver in those hours. Think of it this way. Someone who learns how to code, sell, design, lead, or analyze data isn't just learning skills, they're acquiring leverage. They can do more with less. And in today's economy, even modest improvements in skill can lead to massive jumps in income. For example, just improving your financial literacy or learning AI tools could make you 30 to 50% more competitive in the job market. That's not magic, it's value creation. Most people are still stuck in the time for money trap, but if you're strategic, every hour you spend learning a skill is an hour invested in a higher paying version of yourself. Ask yourself, what skill can you learn today that someone would pay more for tomorrow? Because when you increase your value, money starts chasing you, not the other way around. Mindset 2, financial identity reboot. The second mindset that makes people rich, they don't say I'm bad with money. They say I'm learning to control it. Words shape identity, and identity shapes action. Most people walk around repeating quiet, destructive money beliefs. I'm not good with numbers. I'll always be broke. I just wasn't raised to handle money. And over time, those thoughts become part of who they are, limiting everything. Wealthy people know this. Even if they came from nothing, they made one critical shift. They changed the story. They stopped identifying with financial struggle and started aligning with financial growth. Instead of saying I can't save, they say I'm still learning how to manage my savings. Instead of I suck at investing, they say I'm building my investing confidence. It's not about fake positivity. It's about choosing a version of the truth that moves you forward, not holds you back. Neuroscience shows your brain builds new pathways based on the stories you repeat. So if your money mantra is I'm just not built for this, your brain will prove you right. But if you say I'm training my financial brain every day, you create new patterns that support smarter behavior. Want to become rich? You can't think like someone who's broke and expect different results. Flip your script. Your current identity is optional. You can change it, starting with your self-talk. So here's the question. Who would you be if you stopped believing you were bad with money? Because that version of you, the one who believes in growth, that's the version who builds wealth. Mindset 3, wealth beats flex. You'll never get rich trying to look rich. This mindset is about choosing financial security over social status. Most people go broke trying to impress people who aren't even paying attention. New car, flashy watch, expensive vacations, all while silently stressing about bills. Rich people play a different game. They understand that real wealth is quiet. It's having money in the bank, not on your wrist. It's owning your time, not maxing out your credit for Instagram likes. It's peace of mind, on autopilot. This doesn't mean rich people live cheap. It means they don't spend to signal value. They spend to support value. They buy assets before they buy upgrades. And when they do upgrade, it's with surplus, not stress. Ask yourself, is your spending a reflection of your values or your fears? Are you investing in long-term freedom or a short-term image? Because here's the truth. Most people confuse looking successful with being successful, but they're not the same. Real wealth is invisible. It's the freedom to say no. It's the power to choose your day. It's options. The wealthy don't need applause. Their bank account does the talking, and when they buy luxury, they do it because they can, not because they need to feel like they matter. So the next time you're tempted to show off, stop and ask, who are you really trying to impress? And is that approval worth your future? Status fades, flex culture fades, but financial freedom, that sticks. Let others rent the spotlight. You're building the stage. Choose wealth every single time. Mindset 4, earnings first, savings later. Saving is smart, but saving alone won't make you rich. That's the mindset shift. Rich people don't just focus on cutting costs, they focus on growing income, because there's a ceiling to how much you can save, but no cap on how much you can earn. Most people get stuck in what's called scarcity thinking, clipping coupons, skipping lattes, stressing over every dollar. But you can't save your way to wealth if you're ignoring the biggest lever, income generation. Wealthy people understand that saving is defensive, but income, that's offense, and you can't win the money game playing defense alone. They treat saving as a support strategy, not the strategy. It's the safety net, not the trampoline. Instead, they go after ways to increase what comes in side hustles, skill upgrades, high-leverage jobs, investment returns, equity plays. They turn knowledge into income streams and effort into equity. Every dollar they earn becomes a tool, one that buys time, creates options, and opens doors. Think of it like this. If your income is a tiny stream, obsessing over saving is like building a dam to store a few drops. But if you build a river of income, you don't need to stress over drops. You'll overflow naturally. And no, this isn't about hustle culture or burnout. It's about working smarter, not longer. It's about making your money work harder than you do. So yes, save what you can. Be mindful. Track your budget. But don't stop there. Double down on your ability to earn. Because when income grows, savings multiply. And when that happens, financial freedom isn't just a dream, it's a timeline. Mindset 5. Leverage trumps labor. Want to know why some people get rich faster doing less? One word, leverage. Here's the truth. Labor has limits. You only have 24 hours in a day. So if you're only trading time for money, you'll hit a ceiling, fast. Rich people don't work harder. They build systems that multiply their effort. That's leverage. They create products that sell while they sleep, launch services that scale, build content that pays for years, automate tasks, delegate efficiently, and invest in tools that grow value even when they're offline. This mindset is about asking, how can I work once but earn again and again? Can your knowledge be turned into content? Can your skills be packaged into a course or software? Can you partner with others to trade time for ownership, not just hourly pay? Leverage isn't about working more. It's about working once and earning many times. Most people think in linear income, work more, earn more. But the wealthy think exponentially. They ask, what can I build today that will still pay me 5 years from now? It's not just about side hustles. It's about choosing high-impact activities that compound. Poor people think in effort. Wealthy people think in output per effort. That's why business owners out-earn employees. That's why creators out-earn consumers. That's why investors out-earn savers. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to shift from labor to leverage. Because when you do, you break the time barrier. You stop chasing hours and start multiplying outcomes. Leverage is the great wealth multiplier. Master it, and your income doesn't just grow, it scales. Mindset 6. Self-assigned worth. Most people wait for someone to tell them what they're worth. Wealthy people decide it for themselves. Here's the mindset shift. Your income often rises to match your self-worth, not the other way around. If you believe you're only worth minimum wage, you'll act accordingly. You won't negotiate. You won't speak up. You'll settle for less, not because it's what you deserve, but because it's what you believe. But the rich, they set their worth, then they rise to meet it. This isn't about arrogance, it's about ownership. Understanding that your value doesn't come from external validation, it comes from internal conviction. When you price yourself higher, people notice. They lean in. They wonder what you know that they don't. And you? You start showing up with more energy, more presence, and more preparation, because now the stakes feel real. Imposter syndrome keeps people broke. They apologize for asking. They shrink before they've even tried. They would rather stay underpaid than risk rejection. But the market isn't a mind reader. If you don't boldly signal your value, it won't be magically recognized. Rich people pitch high, charge fairly, and when someone says no, they don't collapse. They calibrate. And that's the magic. When you demand more, you evolve faster. You grow into your value. Confidence isn't noise, it's clarity. It's saying, I bring value. I solve problems. I deserve to be paid accordingly. So stop asking for permission to grow. Set your own rate. Define your value. Control your raise. Because when you believe you're worth more, others do too. And that belief, that's where wealth begins. Mindset 7. Awareness creates wealth. Most people think money stress comes from not having enough. But in reality, it often comes from not knowing where it's going. Here's the mindset. Wealth starts with awareness. The simple act of tracking your money, what you earn, what you spend, what you owe, can lower anxiety and raise performance. It gives you control, clarity, and the power to course correct before things spiral. Wealthy people don't leave their finances to chance. They track, they plan, they audit, they treat their money like a business because it is. They know that what you measure, you manage, and what you manage, you improve. If you don't know your monthly burn rate, if you don't know how much you saved last quarter, if you don't know where your last paycheck actually went, then you're not building wealth. You're winging it, and no one builds a fortune by accident. Awareness turns money from something that controls you into something you control. This doesn't mean checking your bank app 10 times a day or panicking over small purchases. It means setting up a simple system that keeps you in the driver's seat, monthly reviews, automatic savings, a clear snapshot of income versus expenses. Money is just data. The more you track, the more patterns you'll notice. And the more patterns you notice, the better decisions you'll make. Because clarity isn't pressure, it's power. And power leads to peace. So if you want to build real wealth, don't just work harder or earn more. Pay attention, track it, name it, own it. Because when you watch your money with purpose, it starts moving with purpose too. Drop a comment below. Which mindset hit you the hardest? Now you know the thoughts that build wealth. The next step, knowing what to build wealth with. While most people chase trends, the wealthy invest in assets that hold value, no matter what happens. If you want to know what those assets are, check out our next video, 5 secret assets that never lose value. If you got value from this video, do 2 things. Tap that like button and subscribe so you never miss a mindset shift that could change your financial future. You've got the mindset. Now build the life.